Why are many Native people in the U.S. so invested in the Palestinian struggle?
They are continuing to go through what we have been going through for over 500 years, an illegal occupation on our own land.
Both people's lands were forcibly taken by settlers, but there's a lot more to it than that. Just listen to Jeskiran Dillon, who isn't indigenous but is an expert in settler colonial studies.
These projects rely on the concept of terra nullius, which is empty lands, the idea that there are no people that exist on these lands, that they're available for the taking. In fact, they're granted to people that are chosen through divine intervention.
Colonization in the U.S. was justified under the idea of manifest destiny, while in Israel it's been justified under Zionism. These aren't identical concepts, but they each served as the rationale for the violent displacement of indigenous people that took place in both lands. Today, the U.S. has taken 98% of what was once indigenous land, with the remainder left for reservations. Compare that to Israel, which has 85% of Palestinian land, with the remainder under military occupation.
Settlers come to stay. They come with the intent of destroying the original inhabitants and their homelands and replacing it with a new society.
Similar tactics were also used in each colonial effort. During the 1948 Nakba, or catastrophe, at least 750,000 Palestinians were expelled from their homes. And one way Zionist militias did this was by poisoning wells in the villages. Many Palestinians fled with just the clothes on their back, clutching onto keys for the home they would never return to. In the Americas, about 90% of the indigenous population died from 1492 to 1600. And during the Trail of Tears in the 1800s, colonists forcibly marched about 60,000 indigenous people to a distant reservation, with thousands dying along the way. When you look at what Israel is doing to Gaza today, Jeskiran points out more similarities.
What is going through your mind as you're watching the news unfold in Palestine?
The kind of warfare that's being waged against Palestinian people in Gaza around the deprivation of water, of food, of fuel. These are the same tactics of starvation, of displacement that were used that allow for the Trail of Tears to happen, for thousands of indigenous peoples to be led by the U.S. Army from their homelands westward in the United States. Similarly, in Palestine, you have thousands of people that are displaced, that become refugees in their own homelands because of the Nakba in order to build Israeli settlements.
With such strong parallels between their struggles, many indigenous activists and Palestinians have stood together in solidarity for decades. In 2016, Palestinian activists protested with the Standing Rock Sioux tribe in North Dakota against the Dakota Access Pipeline. When Israeli violence against Palestinians has flared up periodically, Native people have come out to defend them, time and time again. During Israel's ongoing bombardment of Gaza, we've seen indigenous communities supporting Palestinians in protests around the world.